Happy Friday, welcome to the 3 Things I Learned, Saas, Sports, Tech, and Live Events. Number 1, you live in the future. And the bigger your company gets and the longer you've been doing it in your career, the further in the future you live. The short-term wins, they don't taste, smell, or feel as good as they did earlier in your career. Today we're talking about board meetings and quarterly recaps and talking about what we're doing in 2023 already. People are going to come to you and be effusive in their praise on a wonderful quarter, wonderful time, wonderful account, wonderful deal. You dealt with those things 6 months, a year, 18 months ago, and that time frame only expands. So be ready to live in the future and make sure that you appreciate when your bets pay off in the present. That's something that often gets overlooked as the concern and worry always gets pushed further into the future. That's number 1. Number 2, at least if you go first, you get to choose the pillbox you attack. So, I'm currently reading Against All Odds. There's a 1984 movie about it, a World War II book about the Marne Men and the people who received the most commendation in World War II. And they're on their way to yet another beach landing. What a horrific war that was. And the greenhorns are lamenting the fact that they've got to go in the first wave. And when talking to the veterans who are the Marne Men, they correct them. You see, the greenhorns are concerned that going first means you're going to get wiped out. They're ready for you. There hasn't been any offensive from your side. But the Marne Men, the ones who've done this before, happily take their place first and then explain why to the younger kids. When you go first, you get to choose which pillbox you want to attack. You don't like the look of that one, you don't like the look of that one, you go for that one. But if you're in wave 2, wave 3, or wave 4, you've got to take what's left. Now, there's all kinds of hazards to going first into a market, especially when you're looking to disrupt something where you're going to have people who are in the business already, incumbents, trying to fight you off. But one of the major benefits of going first is you get to choose the customers, you get to choose the partners, and you get to set the deal terms. That's something that we've seen a lot of value in. So, if you go first, at least you get to choose the pillbox. That's number 2. And number 3, there's always a Jordan. My son learned a life lesson on the cheap the other day. We drafted our fantasy basketball team with a bunch of his friends. And my son forgot to hit mute on his microphone as we were talking about one of our late round sleepers, Bojan Bogdanovic, who is going to get a whole lot of offensive opportunities playing in Detroit this year alongside second-year player Cade Cunningham, who's more of a penetrator. We were talking about this, and his friend Jordan heard it, and as Jordan should have done, swooped up Bojan Bogdanovic, who is performing way above the level that he was drafted in most leagues. This is the case through the rest of life. We've got plenty of Jordans here. People who are going to read, listen to, and watch everything you do. Hi, Jordans. You know exactly who you are. Oftentimes they were friends. Doesn't matter. Weasels are going to weasel. Ignore them. Know they're coming. Make sure you have your microphone on mute because they will steal and run with just about everything you do. Or in some cases, you can use that to your advantage and maybe suggest to Jordan's friend that Nick Claxton looks pretty good for tonight, even though you know he was fighting an injury. Watch Jordan pick him up and get 9 points out of him. We've seen that happen with personnel, with partners, and with markets that we aren't that interested in, but we've sent some signals out to do that. It's unfortunate that's the world we live in, but there's always a Jordan. And in fairness, Jordan is a really nice kid who we like a lot. Just using him as an example instead of the other real life weasels. That's it for this week on the 3 Things. We'll see everybody next week.